everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a very fun video for myself and hopefully for you as well. I talked with Emily at the Flute Center of New York and I asked her to send me all of her prettiest instruments, and she definitely did that. And the thing that I like about this is you can actually have some modifications done to your flute so that it's a little bit more personal and a little bit more you. And so that's what I'm going to be showing you today. I have full flutes that are just blinged out. I also have just head joints that have a little bit of customization. I have crowns, and I am just really excited to show all of them to you. You're definitely going to want to stick around to the end because the last flute I'm going to show you is the most unique flute I have ever seen. Before we get started, I did want to remind you of the perks that I have for you at the Flute Center of New York. If you are looking for a new instrument, whether it's flute, alto flute, bass flute, piccolo, you can use my code Gina on the Flute Center of New York's website and you will get free shipping, an extended trial, an extended warranty. I do have a new perk for you guys that I created with the Flute Center, and that is if you are consigning your instrument with them, and if you haven't heard that word before, don't worry. That means that you are selling your instrument through the Flute Center of New York, and if you want to learn more about that, I do have a video linked for you on that. If you have any repairs that need to be done on your instrument ahead of time, you will get $25 off of that using my code Gina, so just make sure to mention that. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. And without further ado, let's get started. I also did want to mention that I will be linking everything that I show you today in the description, so it's super easy for you to find. We're first going to start off with the head joints. All three of the ones that I'll show you are song head joints, and they are all just so beautiful. So the first one is this one right here. As you can see here, it is fully engraved, and it also has inlays, which I will tell you the specifics about. This particular head joint has 99.5 pure silver tubing, lip plate, riser, and crown. It has an engraved lip plate. It also has a ruby in the crown, and it has diamond enhancements on the lip plate. So I've of course seen these head joints, but I've never played them, so this will be fun. Let's hear what it sounds like. This has a really good sound. So one thing that I will mention about engraved head joints. So I had one on one of my flutes, and the reason I got it is, well, it's beautiful too, but it does have a little bit of a practical reason as well. So there's two things. The first one is it is going to provide a little bit more friction on the lip plate because it has an engraving. That makes sense, right? So it holds it a little bit better here, especially if you're prone to, you know, when you're nervous or something, sweating a little bit. When you realize that your head joint is slipping a little bit, it definitely helps with that. So that is also a bonus when you get an engraved head joint. The next head joint is also a song head joint, and this one has a 14 karat gold lip plate and riser, as well as the crown right here, and it has a diamond feature on the end, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. This head joint is also 99.5 pure silver tubing, and then it has a 14 karat gold lip plate and riser and crown. As you can see, it has a diamond on the crown, and there are several also on the lip plate. Okay, let's try it out and see what it sounds like. I'm definitely digging that low register. And the high register is excellent as well. The last head joint that I'm going to show you of theirs is this 14 karat gold head joint. It's stunning. It has the engraving, it has the inlays, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. This head joint has 14 karat gold tubing, lip plate, riser, and crown. You can see the inlays of diamonds both on the crown as well as on the lip plate. I will mention this head joint is a little bit loose. If I were to be purchasing this, I would be working with the Flute Center so that they could help me adjust it to the body that I'm currently using. But for now, I will play with it. Just be very careful if you are testing these out at home because, like I said, it is very loose and it could like fall on the ground if you're not careful. So be very, very careful if the head joint is loose when you're trying out instruments. That high register is gorgeous. I feel like it just really opens up the sound. It's just really beautiful. So I would also, just all these head joints by Song, I would highly recommend. They look pretty, That's, you know, that's one thing, but they actually sound good too, so that's, in my opinion, the most important thing. So luckily they have both of those. The great thing about these head joints is that way you're able to customize your flute a bit. The silver flute that I personally own is the one that I was using for the body, and all three of the head joints fit it really well. The gold was slightly loose, so if I were to do that, I would talk to the flute center about helping me adjust that fitting. But that's the really great thing about these head joints, is that they will work for a lot of different flutes, and that way you can kind of customize it and make it your own. Speaking of making it your own, one way that is a little bit more affordable to customize your flute is changing out the crown. And if you don't know what I'm talking about with the crown, that is this part of your flute right here. If you don't know, you can actually go like this and it will screw off. I wouldn't recommend doing that because that will change the adjustment of the cork in your head joint. So don't mess around with that, but you can replace the crown right here, and that's what I'm going to show you next. All three of the crowns that I'm going to show you today are by Peter Robertson, and they are bought individually from a flute, so you would just buy that separately. The first one I'm going to show you is this one right here. It has a rose design and it's purple and super sparkly. This next one is pink. It also has the rose design and it is a really pretty shade of pink. Last but certainly not least, we have another one with pretty much the same design, and this one is actually in rose gold. I think this one looks stunning. So now we're going to move on to full flutes. This next flute that I'm going to show you is by Muramatsu, and it has a really beautiful engraving on the head joint. This Muramatsu is a handmade custom flute in 9-karat gold. The head joint is also 9-karat gold and is hand cut. Some of the other specs on this flute is it has a sterling silver mechanism, it also has heavy wall tubing, it has a C-sharp trill key as well as a D-sharp roller, it is handmade, and it also has an engraved lip plate. And now that I have it pulled out, I didn't realize this before, but it also has an engraving right here, so that's really cool and unique to this flute. This has a massive sound. It is so boomy. It's a beautiful sound. Muramatsu does make really amazing flutes, so I would highly recommend this one. I'm actually really excited about this next flute because I personally have never seen one before, but I've heard so much about them. So let's open it up and see what it looks like. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Right here it says Flute Makers Guild Ltd, and it has the address. That's so cool. I've never also seen a cleaning rod like this, so that's really cool and custom. Okay, and now the flute. Oh my gosh, it is, wow. It is so beautiful. So all the keys are all engraved. The head joint is engraved. It is a little unique just because it is closed hole and it has a C foot joint. But wow, this one is absolutely stunning. I am so excited to play this one. I've never gotten my hands on one of these flutes, so let's try it out. It does feel a little weird just because it is a closed hole flute as well as a C foot joint, and I'm so used to having open holes and the B foot joint. Not saying that that's better at all because that's just a matter of personal preference, but it has a really beautiful sound, and like I said, it's very easy to play. So this next one, I saw it at the flute convention, but I never got to play it because everybody was always swarming it because it is so unique and so beautiful. So this one is by John Lunn, and it's actually called the Dryad's Touch. And well, let me just show it to you so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, like, do you see the detail on this? It is just absolutely incredible. The artistry of this, it's just wow. That's all I can say is just wow. Let me read you the description on this flute. John Lunn's The Dryad's Touch, a masterpiece of 18-karat green gold with vine and leaf artwork intertwined and integral to the mechanism of the flute. Nature-inspired artwork design of cobwebs, a turtle, flowers, and leaves on the keys. 14-karat gold leaf trill keys. Offset G, French open hole, .12 tubing, B foot joint, and additional D foot joint. That's really unique. I've never seen that before in a flute. The only flute in the world like it, the Dryad's Touch is a magnificent artwork with no equal, completed in 2009. I can't stop looking at this. There's just so much detail there's a little turtle up here on top. There's a flower on the lip plate. There's a cobweb with a little spider. It's so cute. I'm not sure if this is a fairy or some kind of insect. Either way, it's really pretty. I love right here where it says who it's by and everything. It does say The Dryad's Touch by John Lunn, but it just is so beautiful the way it's done. It's a work of art for sure. I mean, all instruments are, but this one, it's on another level. And even just the detail right here of the barrel, it's just beautiful. And then the keys, like it said, it's leaves right here. And it's like ivy growing on the rods of the flute. And I mean, there's something new that you find every time you look at it, I think. Right here, you have another little cobweb. Right here, there's a little flower. Wow, I mean, it's just absolutely stunning, and I can't stop looking at it. It's really remarkable. I'll be completely honest with you, I was wondering, is this flute going to actually play? Is it just meant to be art? It is art, and you could just display it, but it actually does sound really good too, so that's really cool. I'm not going to lie, it does feel a little bit different playing this instrument, as you can imagine, just because of all the details on it, but I think if you just put a little bit of time into it, it would come pretty naturally. I would love to know which of these was your favorite and something that you would actually potentially be interested in. Thank you again to the Flute Center of New York for making this series possible and sending me all these cool instruments. It's so much fun to get to learn and see all these instruments and test them out. So thank you for that. Make sure that all of you are subscribed to my channel because I have new videos coming very soon. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and I'll see you soon.